Today we will be discussing on whether Spec could absolutely body these two lookism per se. I would say they're per se that one of the two, basically both of them are the Giga Chads of the lookism verse pretty much. Jerry is one of those characters that, he does have some really good character development as well as the other one, but I feel like this is a really great discussion because a lot of people downplay Spec and when it comes to like anything, when it comes to like his feats, what he's done, what he did, what he's capable of. Even though right now in today's standards, in today's standards of the Baki manga, he is nowhere near in the top 10 no more, and still really wasn't even in the top 10 back when he came into the story. The thing is though, he still is crazy strong. For freaking lookism standards, he might as well be a top tier fighter. For example, if you really want to put it in the battle wiki, he's pretty much, they put him at, could be possibly really they maximally put him at small building level, but I really consider from his feats and his feats alone, you could argue that he could be put at city block level. Like if we're talking about peak Spec, like best possibility, he could be put at multi-city block level, but that's really stretching it. My max scaling for him is city block level, because if you actually look at it, he was able to not only crack the Statue of Liberty, but then go on. That was such a casual thing too. And you might be saying, well, it took some time to crack the Statue of Liberty. It took some time to do this. It took some time for it to happen. But still, it happened. It still occurred. They literally, the Statue of Liberty was literally about to break to pieces. Now, he didn't completely one-shot the Statue of Liberty. That's why a lot of people put him at small building level. But the reason why I put him at max scaling, you possibly can put him at is city block level, is because of how big the Statue of Liberty is. It is literally over 300 feet. And realistically, if he was able to do that to the Statue of Liberty, I have no doubt that he could be put max scaling at city block level, like max total peak condition. Now here's the thing, here's the problem, right? Here's the real problem with this whole discussion. If it really comes to push to shove, when it comes to talking about who's gonna win this fight, let's say you put him against Jerry from lookism. Jerry per se has good feats in terms of lookism, right? Like, let's be honest, every single lookism character is considered fodder in the Baki fighting space, scaling wise, feats wise. You could put Gun and he still wouldn't be able to one shot early Baki characters or the prisoners. He wouldn't be able to one shot them. Realistically, Gun wouldn't be able to take down all 5 prisoners at once. All 5 prisoners is already too much. Especially Yanagi. Yanagi is the definite one. In my opinion, Yanagi is underrated. Now, back to the whole Spec thing. Sorry for the yapping session there. But look, let's be honest. If Spec was to go toe-to-toe with Jerry or Mandeok, if you really want to say it, I would say this is how it would go. First, Spec, realistically, he would pull up on them. Or, he would pull up on them. It would be more like that. And let's say he pulls the ball on them in Korea, right? Because that's where Jerry and Mandeok are going to be, Korea, right? So let's say he pulls up on them. He's going to hit them with a bunch of random strikes, right? But here's the thing. Spec, the only weakness Spec really has in this fight is that he's going to play it out. Now, I don't really know too much about the characters, to be honest with you. I don't know too much about the characters of Jerry or Mandeok. I've only watched a couple videos on them time to time. So I don't know how they would react or how they would really handle the situation. But from what I know, realistically, they don't really play around too much. And the thing about Jerry, this is the one thing I know, it's really a situational basis. If you really want the strongest Jerry, you're gonna need to basically, you're going to need to get someone that he cares about in danger. I forgot the name, sorry. But yes, you're going to need to get that one specific person. All the lookism community knows who the hell I'm talking about. You need to get him in danger. He will be at his peak. He will be at his best, his most rage mode, heat mode, whatever you want to call it. He'll be at his best. Realistically, that could happen if Spec arrives. Spec, let's say Spec per se kills or whatever. He's going to kill the dude. He's going to kill him, or he's going to beat his ass or whatever. He's going to knock him out. It don't matter, okay? If Spec beats the hell out of that dude, Jerry sees it. They have altercation with each other. They fight. Realistically, this fight is only going to last 10 minutes tops, or even 20 to 30. Realistically. Because, don't get me wrong, Jerry is very strong and he has been put in the battle wiki. I looked it up. He was put in the battle wiki for being possibly large building level. Possibly. Could be ranked higher. But I honestly think Spec has it in the freaking ballpark, because not only Spec has the strength, power, AP to just completely overwhelm him, but he does have a move where he basically hits you 5 minutes straight with no leeway. So, having that in mind, if Spec pulls that off and then does some freaking shady shit on the side and basically playing dirty, I will say it will take about maybe 5 to 10 to 20 minutes tops for him to get through Jerry. But it's going to be, realistically, it's going to be a medium difficult fight. But if it's peak Jerry, I will even put it at high difficulty, looking at it that way, you know. But let's say Spec fights Mandeok. If Spec fights Mandeok, it's going to be a lot harder because Mandeok did beat Jerry. So I would say this. Realistically, Mandeok would put the hands on Spec in the beginning. Spec will have a hard time. Then when Spec gets a little bit warmed up, when he starts getting more serious, it's gonna start going against Mandeok. It's gonna go back and forth for a couple minutes. It's gonna go back and forth. But at the end, Spec will eventually win with a couple injuries. You know, I'll put it at that. But realistically, Spec will slam both Mandeok and Jerry. Now, last discussion here. If per se Spec does fight them both at the same time, well, it might actually go against Spec. Like, realistically, it could go against them. Realistically. But if you want to put him at max scaling in this altercation here, he could win. He really could win easily. Honestly. Like, if you want to take the lowest ball I give Spec is that he is multi-small building level to like large building level, right? Realistically, that's where I would put him. And that's definitely way higher above Mandeok and Jerry scaling, in my opinion. So realistically, he could take them on even with his low ball. For me personally. But if we want to take max scaling Spec, yeah, he will definitely wipe the floor with them with that specific scaling. But there's another whole discussion to have with that. But that is really the video I wanted to get out today, because I know I haven't been posting. I know I haven't been, really posting any commentaries because my phone, sadly, I can't really use CapCut no more. So this is my only opportunity to do it through my specific tablet. Now, I want to thank you all for anyone that supports my content or is going to eventually support my content here on my YouTube channel. Again, I apologize for not really posting any content of me or anything like that wise. Thank you and bye.